I'm starting this YouTube channel so that I can provide my own input into some of the firearms that I've purchased. And I think this is important because you know, as many opinions as you can get definitely helps when you're out there trying to make a purchase for a new firearm, especially those who've not shot a lot before. I'm 23, but I've been shooting for 12 years or so. So I've got a decent handle on all kinds of different firearms, so hopefully I can provide a good perspective for you guys. This is a Kahr CW9. I safety checked this before, but just so you can see, the gun is not loaded. This is Kahr's what I would consider compact. I would normally say subcompact because it kind of fits in that category, but really, as far as Kahr's line go, they have a CM version and a PM version that are smaller than this gun, cut down to here and about here on the handle. So this is what I consider their compact. It's a 7-round plus 1 in the chamber, 9mm pistol. Very well made gun. I think Kahr's are just as strong, if not stronger, than Glocks in 6 hours. I've owned both, so I feel like I can say that. If you don't believe that, that's fine. Feel free to post about it, and we can debate about it on the channel. But no, I really like this gun. I've owned it for, let's see, 2 years now, 2 or 3 years, and I've put a couple thousand rounds through it. And every time I take it out, I'm just shocked at how easy it is to shoot, how well it feels. For me, it feels like a glove, like a sock on a foot, really. It points straight, it shoots very accurately. The gun's a lot more accurate than I'll ever be. In the wintertime, my father and I will go out, and there's a 100-yard range, and we'll go out there and take 100-yard shots at this gun, and you can come, really close to some of the targets that we were shooting. Just kind of fun to go out there and challenge yourself with that. Anyway, like I said, it is a 7+1 9mm single stack. For those of you who do not know, single stack means that the handle and the magazine line up all of the bullets in a row correctly on top of each other. That's called single stack. When you hear the term double stack, that means that the bullets kind of alternate. So it's kind of like a zigzag pattern of bullets. So that means that the gun's handle is going to be thicker because the bullets are staggered on top of each other, but you can fit more rounds in there. For concealed carry purposes, I won't go too deep into this because I have a firm believer that you need to figure out what's best for you. But for concealed carry purposes, it means that the gun has a very slim profile. The only external thing on a gun is obviously the slide sights and the slide release right here. The slide release has been milled down so that it's not very protruding, but it's still protruding enough that you can easily access it. Anyway, the gun itself is a pretty average size gun, I would say, for a compact. I don't have big hands, and I can fit the entire gun between my hands. That puts it into perspective. It's got roughly a 3-inch barrel. I might be a little bit longer than that. The only downside to this gun that I don't like is the trigger itself. If you're used to shooting either A, single action pistols, or B, Glocks, they have really crisp, what I consider crisp triggers, then you might take you some time to get used to this trigger. Just so you can see, again, not loaded. What I mean by crisp, this is a double action only trigger, by the way. What I mean by crisp is that with Glocks, there's not a lot of take up in the trigger. It might take some pressure to push the trigger, but the trigger travel itself is not very far. So with this gun, it's a little bit differently. You really have to pull the trigger a long ways. It's got some long take up in it, and it's very smooth. And it actually, when you shoot it, it gets easier and easier as the gun gets older. When I first picked up this gun, I was kind of nervous about that. I was like, man, I'm not going to get used to this. In the videos I'm going to show after this of me shooting the gun, you'll see how easy it is to shoot and can control it. I actually like it now. And every time I go out and I shoot it, I really am shocked at how easy it is to shoot. As it is, speaking of shooting, to take apart. On this back side, there are 2 lines that you have to line up on the slide, roughly right here. One's on the slide itself, one's on the polymer frame. You line those up, and then the slide release on the other side, right here, you just push right out. Um, so I'll do this just to show you some of the internal parts of this gun. So you line those up, pop out the slide release. There you can see it's kind of popped out. Pull out the slide release, and then there the gun will return back to normal position. And then you pull the trigger all the way, and then you pull the slider off. Very easy. One of the cool parts about this gun is that in the frame itself they actually have molded in steel guides, and that's where the slide rests on. And if you look inside internally with a Glock, the slide rails are not this long. So personally, I think that these guns are actually stronger in that aspect than Glocks are. You can also look that up on Glock Talk if you want a second opinion. I think they're pretty biased towards Glocks, obviously, and even they will admit that. They will admit that. It's a striker fired gun. You can see the striker right there. This middle piece right below the striker is the safety release. The gun has a trigger safety that when you pull the trigger it disengages that lock, but if that trigger lock's not disengaged or engaged, I guess technically, then the striker cannot reach the primer. So if you don't have your finger in the trigger and you drop the gun or something like that, it's not going off. That's nothing new. That's very similar to how Glock has their design. You can see the trigger if you can see that or not, but that's the thing. If you push that in, then that's what disengages it. It's got a standard recoil spring, one spring only, and standard steel guide rod. I won't take this apart because it's got a lot of grease and stuff on it, but it's a very standard gun, much like Glocks. If you take a Glock apart, you're going to recognize most of the stuff inside. Anyway, putting it back together is just as easy. Essentially just line it up, pop that, kind of put constant pressure on the slide release till it kind of gets in there as you move the slide back, and then you just put it back in, and good to go. So other than that, the gun itself is very light. Like I mentioned, it's a single stack design, so it's not not a lot of steel on there. The foam or slides actually really light, so if you have to carry it, it's really nice. Like I said, I'm not going to talk that much about concealed carry. You're welcome to ask me questions about. I just got my concealed carry permit, but I'm a firm believer in that you need to go out and test each gun and kind of figure out what you think works best for you, and then go from there. What you want is a gun that you can shoot accurately and feel comfortable with. And that's what's most important, is that you are comfortable with it, not 1,000 YouTube users. For me, you listen to videos and I'm very comfortable shooting it. I can shoot it very fast, reload it very fast, and it's a very, very accurate gun. And that's why I like this gun. I hope that kind of helps you guys get a better idea of the basics about this gun, why I like it, why I don't, and really will help you make a better decision. Like I mentioned, if you're looking for a smaller version than this gun, check out Kahr's CW9 model. It's very similar price to this gun. I bought this for about $420 2 years ago, and now it's about $370, I believe, on Bud's Gun Shop. And you cannot beat that price. You'll not be disappointed. It comes with one magazine, but you can buy them for about $30, $35 for another one. That's a really good deal. So when it comes down to it, this gun's very accurate, very, very reliable, and it's going to last you a long time if you take care of it. And that's what you want in a gun. In the videos that you're going to see after this, you're going to see me shoot, reload, and shoot again. There is a misfire. That's not because of this gun. That is because of the ammunition that was used. I reload my own ammunition, and excuse me, I don't. My father does. And the primers that he used are very, very hard primers. So that the problem that you see is that the striker hits the primer but doesn't ignite it. It's called a light strike. But technically, in this case, it's not a light strike. I've had that problem with 1911s, with Glocks, and with this gun. So if you see that, don't freak out. I shot this gun for thousands of rounds and never had a problem. I trust my life with it. If that tells you anything, and I'm a pretty risk-averse person. So take that with a grain of salt when you see that misfire. You can see that it clears very easily, and that's a problem that I've had with some of the other guns. It's just the primers, nothing more. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for checking this out, and hopefully it helps you. Feel free to ask me any kind of questions, and I will get back and answer them for you with the best of my ability. I'm a very down-to-earth, honest person, so I want to help you guys out as much as I can. And by helping you guys out, sometimes I help myself out and learn more. So it's a win-win situation. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we had one that didn't make it because of the 13, but yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.